Welcome students. Last my video session we discussed about what is subroutine, what is function with respect to the programming language, what is function specification, what is parameters and argument, how the function specification will have the parameter without type and with the type. Now we are going to discuss about the interface versus implementation. What is called as interface? Interface means it is a set of action that object can do. Object can do several things, but the interface only define this kind of work only the object can do. That is called as interface. For example, when you press the light switch, light goes on. You doesn't care about how it splashes with the light. In object-oriented programming language, interface only give the description of all the function in a class that must have a new interface. So, in object-oriented programming language, what is called as interface? Interface is the description of all the function that a class must have in order to create the new interface. If you want to create the new interface in an object-oriented programming language, by using the class to function, that description only by using interface. In our example, anything act like a light. This example will have the function definition like turn on, and then turn off. If you want to use the light switch will have two functions definition called as turn on and turn off. You ask the question to me, what is the purpose of the interface, or what is the use of the interface? Interface allows the computer to enforce the function, that is, they enforce the class of type T must have the function called as turn on or turn off, or we can call the function called as x, y, z. If you want to use the properties of the class by function, then we use the interface. Without interface, we can't use the function called as anything. Here, class is called as T. This class T have the function called as turn on and turn off. If this two function uses the properties of the class, then it must be done by using the interface. That is the purpose of the interface. Next, the class declaration. This is the class declaration. This class declaration combines external interface with an implementation of that interface. Now we create the object. For the class T, the object is called as OB. OB is the object. It is also called as an instance that is created from the class. Without the class, we cannot create object. So, by using class, we create the object. So, class declaration only combines the external interface with an implementation of that interface. Next, the interface defines object visibility to the outside world. Object visibility, if you want to use the object visibility to the outside world, means it gives the definition by interface. So, the interface defines object visibility to the outside world. For example, you can easily understand by using the C++ language. The Cout is the object. Cout is the object. This object definition is already stored in the header file called as as include IO string. What is the work of the cout object? That work defined in the header file called as include IO string. That header file will have the description how the cout object will work. That definition should have the header file. This is the interface. Here the header file is the interface because it defines how the object will do the work. Here cout is called as implementation. Cout is called as what? Implementation. We have the main difference between interface and implementation. Only one main difference, that is the interface defines what can object do, but it actually won't do any works. That only defines this is the work of the object, but who carries the instruction? The implementation only carries out the instruction. The implementation carries out the instruction defined by what? Interface. So this is the main difference between interface and implementation. Interface means it defines what the object can do, but the object works is carried by the implementation. This is the main difference between the interface and the implementation. In object-oriented programming language, the classes are called as interface, and how the objects are processed and executed is called as implementation. Class is called as interface, and how do we process the object and execute the object is called as implementation. Next, we see the characteristics of interface. There are two main characteristics of the interface. The first characteristics of interface is the class template only specifies the interface. Who specifies the interface? Class template. Class, already you know that class is a template. That class template specifies the interface to enable an object how it is created and operated properly. If you want to create the object and operate it properly, means that should be defined by the interface by using the class template. That is the first characteristics of the interface. The next characteristics, the object's behavior and attributes are controlled by sending functions, these two functions to the object. Sending the function to the object. So we can easily control the object's behavior and its attributes by sending function to the object. These are the two important characteristics of the interface. Next, we have the small example, that is increasing the speed of the car. That is the next example. In this example, we have the engine. In the engine, we can use the function called as get speed. If the required speed is there, means it returns. Yes means it returns, no means it pulls the fuel. This is the next example we have to see. A person who want to drive the car, doesn't care about the internal working. He just press the accelerator, he increase the speed of the car. He just presses the accelerator to get the required speed. In this example, accelerator is called as interface. The accelerator is the interface between the driver and the engine, who perform the mediator between the driver and the engine. The interface only the mediator. Here the accelerator is the interface between the driver and the engine. In this example, we have the function called as speed of 50, 60 or 70 or 80, anything we can give the argument. This function call is called as interface in the function definition. In this example, engine doing all the works, but here the fuel, air pressure and electricity comes together to create the power to move the vehicle. All these actions are separated from the driver because he just want to go faster. So we always separate the interface from the implementation. That is the difference between interface versus implementation. Next video session we have to discuss about the pure function, impure function, side effects of the impure function and chameleons of Cronblat problem. Thanks students.